whatever tempo she starts at, that's the tempo to keep it at. No matter what tempo you've been playing at, it's our first time here. So if she plays a tempo and then you play something much slower, which is what happened, then it's like jarring. Even if the slow tempo is the one that everyone's comfortable with, we want to take whatever tempo it starts at. So we keep this tension that makes people move their bodies. Okay. Let's try leaving town. So you started out and everyone's really tuned into her tempo and the feeling that she has. In the rhythm section? Great. Yeah, me too. At some point during the tune, it goes to a 2-feel. And where is that? Is it like... Let's talk about a different way of playing 2-feel. Because the groove I showed you on Ain't Misbehavin', that would work fine. But just as far as having options go, let's play that 2-feel and talk about that. Do you know where that is? Okay. You count them off?
Sure.
Or whoever is.
At the beginning
Just A?
or at A?
At A.
Okay.
What?
You just want me to play that same groove?
Play whatever you want to, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
I just want to hear what you're playing. I'd like to think more dry sounds than ride cymbal sounds. Like, save the ride cymbal for whatever you see as the biggest part of whatever song you're playing. And otherwise, try to stick to like drier sounds. Because that's like, from what I understand, the recording processes of the day just could only pick those things up. And if you think about like marching bands and stuff, and like the really beginning, before they tried to have one person responsible for the bass drum and the snare drum and the cymbals, probably in the mix, loudest was the actual drums rather than the cymbals. So focus on more drums and drier sounds. Okay, St. James Infirmary, we had this sweet, good job with the vocals and really just like having some enthusiasm. And then good job everyone else on St. James Infirmary in particular with supporting him with like, I don't know, you guys were like saying stuff and making noise not on your instruments. And that kind of camaraderie and friendship and enthusiasm is contagious, like 100% of the time, okay? And the opposite is also contagious. If it looks like you guys are not feeling it, not having it, the audience is not feeling it at all. So even in more subtle ways, I want that feeling that you have during that section to extend over your entire set. I don't mean to be talking and making noise, but that like you were clearly paying attention to him. And it was in a not so subtle way. You were like, yeah, I'm paying attention to you. But you can do that in other ways, just by like your body language during other tunes. And by smiling, even if you're not the one soloing, and just, you're all accompanying. This is like a very unique kind of music, just a unique subgenre of jazz because there's so many people accompanying at all times. So be aware of that and be very supportive. Does anyone know if this clinic is supposed to end?
11:30.
11:30. Okay, we got plenty of time. Let's try that section. I want to hear that. As we're doing it, think about like, aside from the obvious, you guys are talking and making noise with your mouths. What else is different about this section that we can apply to the rest of the set? So whoever's responsibility is, count that off. You guys get the idea. Put that feeling and that vibe on stage on all the other songs that you said. No matter if it's
This is a section where we're supposed to be excited about this singing, so we'll do that.
no, be excited about it all the time. And while we're not amplified, could you try this with brushes? Do you have brushes with you?
Not with me.
Okay. I have some. Well, maybe one of the other bands just got some around. But I would just experiment, even with amplification, of changing the texture up sometimes with brushes. And just, it's up to you, but especially with there's so many two feels, right? And this two feel on the ride cymbal is like very tough to master. And especially since we're dealing with Dixieland, I would use less ride cymbal and more like brushes, hi-hat, and snare drum stuff that's like borderline marching, you know? Especially if you guys are trying to go full on Dixieland, which is clearly right with the band. It's awesome. Oh,